the table, and he's like whistling, doing dishes.
Fucking terrible.
This is what cyanide and happiness is.
Well,
anyways, yeah. So, St. Louis Battlehawks are an 11.5 point favorite over the Seattle Dragons.
get it together.
And that rounds out February. And on Sunday, March 1st, we've got the Houston Roughnecks at the Dallas Renegades in what is being billed as the match or the game of the year.
Yeah, by Christian Broadcasting Station.
And then the DC Defenders, who are coming off of an absolute ass kicking, are a 2.5 point favorite on the road against the Vipers.
Oh, so we're favored now.
Yes.
Because we were not favored in the beginning. So apparently Vegas swung.
Like a giant dick.
I guess so.
There's a good chance the Renegades could give the Vipers some playoff help.
I don't think.
Yeah, no, depending on what Cardell Jones you get, sure.
I don't think the Vipers are going to get any kind of help, because the only team that I think they can beat are the Seattle Dragons, and I don't even know if they play them again. Week 7, no. Week 8, nope. Week 9, nope. Week 10, nope.
Doesn't everybody have to play everybody at some point?
Yeah. They played week 1, I believe. No Vipers Guardians. Week 2 was Vipers Dragons. Dragons won 17-9. In Seattle, though. Because, in the XFL, the 10,000 people really make a huge difference. But, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so doesn't look good for the Vipers. Oh,
Damn,
man.
Guess I'm going to stick to betting NASCAR.
Ugh. Are you going to bet to see who almost dies this? I'm gonna draft an entire NASCAR.
I was actually, you read my mind. I was going to ask you that. So, if you speak about free agency, can you just swap those in as those come in?
We're gonna have as what come in?
As guys end up crashing and stuff, and you're like,
Well, no, because of an accident like that, he would not be eligible. We're also gonna have free agency period, the first day of every month you can drop 3 and add 3.
so you got to stick with them for a while.
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
something like that. Well, we have to hash out the rest of the
figure out the details.
the rest of the
Work
death
something
tales.
out.
Yeah.
Damn.
There's got to be rules to this shit.
I heard about this event kind of thing happening a long time ago.
That was an 80-page manual. With all
So
the
do
rules
I.
in it.
It was literally in the movie Deadpool.
Oh, well. But Deathpool Dave was a character on Howard Stern.
Mm-hmm.
He would call in and go through Deathpool stuff.
Was he one of the whack packers?
I don't know. I didn't think Howard Stern was all that funny. Anyways, guys, that's the XFL for the week. Predictions. Do you think the Renegades can take down the? You think the Renegades can? Jesus Christ, can take down the Roughnecks?
You know what? I'm going to say yes.
I think so too.
Yep.
Because why the hell not?
You think this is the week the Vipers finally get a win?
Yes.
You think they're going to beat the Defenders?
Why not?
Oh no.
More chaos.
I could see it happening, but I don't want it to.
I wonder what that would be money line.
Probably a good amount.
I mean, they put it right on the screen.
On the website.
Anyways,
ESPN doesn't give it justice. They just put the line up.
Well, ESPN also doesn't care about betting and gambling.
Yes, they do.
Well, they've got to show daily wagers now, so they damn well better.
Yeah. But,
And it was the ESPN talking about fucking lines so much that made, the rest of the states around be like, you know what? Maybe we should.
that was mostly Scott Van Pelt, though.
Yeah, but Scott Van Pelt's the most watched version of SportsCenter.
Well, yeah,
Other
because
than people who leave it on in the background on a Saturday morning when I have shit to do.
Scott Van Pelt doesn't suck.
Well, there's
like everyone else on ESPN sucks. Like I don't think I can think of many people on ESPN right now who don't suck. In terms of on TV, like there's some good ESPN radio guys, like Jordan Renan who writes for ESPN for the Giants. He's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good people at
yeah,
ESPN,
but
so.
on TV, like I don't hate Tony Reale. But I like Scott Van Pelt. I guess John Butchergross is good. Oh, and what's his name? The one that did the halftime show.
Oh, Adnan Virk.
Adnan Virk, yeah. Adnan Virk. Yeah, so there's a couple of halftime.
And
Jesus
for us,
Christ.
that shit would still have been up there.
Yep. Yeah, we tweeted at Adnan Virk. And
Fixed it.
Yep. LOL fixed it. Thank you. What was the response? They had their graphics department, instead of having halftime on the TV, it says halftime. HLAFTIME. We tweeted at him.
Hey, got a little mix up there, Bob.
Yep.
That was what, like 2 years ago?
It was this past year.
Yeah. I think I saw that photo.
I think it was Penn State.
I thought it was when it was Ohio State versus like Nebraska or something.
No, we were at Rivers for that, weren't we?
When it was halftime, I thought that was like a noontime game.
I don't know.
3:30 game, whatever.
Halftime, ridiculous. Anyways, let's get into the NFL. Close out the show. Got a little bit of time left. Some big changes are being proposed, and does not look like the players are interested in those changes. The owners want to go to 17 regular season games, and they want to add a 7th team into the playoffs, take away 1 bye week, and have 3 wild card round playoff games, and then everything else stay the same. Dan O'Shea and I got into, I'd say it's a very friendly debate. It wasn't very heated.
You guys can have at it. I'll give you my opinion, but I'm of a person that I don't know that it's completely necessary to add a team to each side. I guess I'll have to see how it plays out. Now, I see both sides of the coin. I don't feel like it necessarily needs to be there, but I can see the entertainment for fans, revenue potential. That's the way that the NFL is definitely looking at it. I don't think that they're going far enough to limit down preseason games, because I think that they should be doing that and trying to extend the season before they start worrying about extending the playoffs. I think that should have been a focus more than anything. The marijuana one, the NFL should have done that fucking years ago, and it just seems like they're way late to the party on that.
Now, one thing that irritated me is
that's great.
What?
That photo.
Oh, the halftime.
The whole halftime.
Yeah. One thing that irritates me is there were a couple of guys already who have said that they don't like the proposal, and then said that the NBA is getting it right, MLB is getting it right in terms of with their players. The MLB holds players down in the fucking minor leagues until a pitcher is 24, so they can give him a 5-year contract, and then be like, "You're 30, we're not going to pay you," and then they take him to arbitration. What the fuck are you talking about, Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson?
Those are asinine statements.
Right?
Although I did like the one that somebody responded to J.J. Watt, where he's like, "It's going to be a no for me on the CBA deal." And somebody responded with, "You only play 5 to 6 weeks a year anyway. What's it matter to you?"
Yeah, that was hilarious.
That's perfect.
But yeah, so here's my thing with the whole adding a 7th team, taking away a bye. Either drop 2 teams from the playoffs and do 4 from each conference, or go 8 teams and get rid of both byes, because fuck the bye week. It doesn't make sense. I don't think they should be adding more teams. I think that there should be less teams in the playoffs, especially if you're a professional league. If everyone in the league is a professional athlete, there should be no reason that half of the teams in that league make the playoffs. That diminishes the playoffs. And like the NBA, 16 of the 30 teams make the playoffs. And regularly, teams with losing records make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that rewarded?
See, that's where I have an agreement with you, because losing shouldn't be rewarded, but here's the problem that in the way that I see it, that I can almost justify it, is because it opens the door, and again, this is me personally, that the wild card, like, sometimes teams from divisions win the division with a losing record, and there is a better team that got snubbed out of it who is now going to get in because of expanding the playoff.
Right, and
that's where it makes sense to me, because sometimes the winner of a division is shit and shouldn't be there.
Seahawks.
Panthers. Yeah.
Pick an NFC South team over the last decade. Half of them were trash.
I mean, honestly, as a Cowboys fan, and as you being a fan of a team in the NFC East, did the NFC East deserve to be represented in the playoffs this year? Absolutely not.
Probably not if you look about the other competition. So that's where I can see extending the playoff. But that's one of the few, like, I see where the NFL is coming from. That's the only way that I can see it from a fan standpoint being acceptable and why it's going to happen. I think there's other changes that should have happened first, like you were saying. Expand out the season, get rid of some of the preseason games, give another bye week or lose the bye week entirely. There's other options that they could have done, but I see that the playoff could be expanded. I just don't know that that was really priority one. But, you know, I don't work in the NFL. So.
Like, I'm all for being overrepresented if they're amateur athletes. Because let's go with college, for example. You're there for 4 years. Maybe 5 if you get injured or you're not quite ready to play. All right? So if a team like UMKC has a bad season, but then runs through 6 straight teams on their way to a conference championship, that's a little different because those players, they're not going to the NBA. They deserve to be able to play in something like that. However, I don't think that a team that did well all season and happens to lose in the tournament, like, oh, you only had 2 losses all season, and one of them came to a team that just happened to beat you. Sorry, you can't make the tournament. Like, that I think is stupid. That's amateur. Like, they're not professionals. They're not paid to play at the highest level. If you're being paid to play at the highest level, you shouldn't be incentivized to lose.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to hear Dan O'Shea's opinion on all this because he drastically disagrees with you.
Well, it wasn't that I disagreed with Dan's points on the game integrity.
Disagree with all of it. Get him wrong up.
That the reasoning that they're doing it is money. It's, and you know, in that way, they're following the NBA and the NHL in having more teams in their playoffs. They're still less than half the league in the playoffs, which is still, as I said, fewer than the NHL, fewer than the NBA, and I think fewer than the MLB. But again, I don't really pay that much attention to baseball, as you guys know.
MLB is 5 teams from each.
Okay.
Correct, but I believe that MLB is also expanding.
Which they should just drop. They should just cut back to 4. Go back to that.
Yeah.
Like, no one wants the stupid fucking 1-game play-in.
No.
Except for the teams that get in based on that.
Which is 1 since they've been doing it.
By the way,
1.
I've been crushing the home run streak on Sports Jungle. Literally, currently second place, streak of 9 straight, baby.
That's great.
I'm in 5th overall for most points, but I missed day 1.
Seems to me like you're very fond of a couple people in the sports jungle.